Alright, so I made it here to RWB 3:30 on the dot, October 1st, and Nojima-san is going to start paint matching and looking at all the panels. He's mixed up the color. He's going to try and see how close he is, and I'm just going to enjoy seeing the process, because this is what it's all about, you know, just kind of sitting back and seeing the guys behind this amazing brand do their work. First with Nojima, prepping all the parts, and then of course Nakai-San eventually when we get the final build date set up, and kind of take it from there. It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited, and it's kind of almost crazy to look at this car now and thinking that it's not gonna look like this for much longer, but yeah, I made the call, the decision's been made, and now we just make it happen. Sorry to interrupt the video. I just wanted to mention that to coincide with the build of the 964 at RWB, we're going to be launching a new t-shirt design. It's going to be really thick gauge, kind of like a streetwear look. It's going to last forever. Please check it out. There's a pre-order. Click the link below in the description. Sorry for another interruption, but this one's really important. We noticed that 77% of viewers are actually not subscribed. It takes nothing to hit that subscribe button, and it helps tremendously. So please subscribe and support the channel so we can keep pumping out content from Japan. So I have decided I'm doing an RWB conversion on Project 964. I think a lot of you probably gathered that I was going towards this direction ever since I introduced the car to the channel. You know, I'll let you into a bit of a secret. It's pretty much the only reason I got a 964 all those years back. I found the right car in the right state at the right price that kind of made everything kind of slot into place. I didn't really expect the car to be quite so unreliable. It's taken me years to basically kind of get it running, and to a point that I'm sort of happy with it, and everything is lined up, and basically it's all started. As you will see in this video, the few first steps have already been carried out, and basically it's all down to kind of scheduling up a slot for Nakai to accept the car at his shop in Kashiwa and start the work. So you're probably wondering, like, you know, why would I do this to such a classic car? A lot of people have left a lot of comments, and I do appreciate everybody's opinion, but you know, like I mentioned, it's something that I've always aspired to do. I've seen Nakai basically turn hundreds of cars into his creations, and I just love his approach, but predominantly I really love how he hasn't really changed. Basically, he's really stayed true to that original ethos that RWB was kind of built on, and I so appreciate that he's kind of stayed true to that recipe, because you know, as you get famous and you get recognized globally, and you get to build quite so many cars. I mean, if you take into account that Nakai is probably churning out 60-70 cars a year, and has been doing so for the last decade or so, you know, it would go to a lot of people's heads basically, and he's just basically remained Nakai-san. He's the same guy that I met 20 years ago, and kind of doing things that he liked for the simple reason that, you know, that's how he's kind of always wanted it to be. He builds wide body cars because that's what he likes doing. That's his approach to creating a car made for the circuit. And before we get into all of that, I just wanted to share something with you guys. You know, I'm getting old, I'm getting on with my years, and you know, as I sit here at my desk and my laptop writing away on stories and, you know, preparing videos and coming up with ideas, finding a chair that really kind of offers that extra bit of support has always been a bit of a tough thing for me to do. And seeing that my old office chair has basically destroyed itself, I've actually threw it away. I reached out to a company that really helped out in providing me a chair that literally is the most comfortable thing I've ever sat on. And this is the chair in question. I'll stand up and show you guys. This is the FlexiSpot C7 Pro. The guys from FlexiSpot sent this over, and I'm extremely happy with how comfortable it is. This fabric that kind of holds you in support is amazing. And the most important thing is it offers amazing lumbar support for an older guy like me to kind of not get that horrible pain in the lower back and be able to sit here on my computer and work away. So the really cool thing about this chair is that it comes with a 5-year warranty and a 30-day return policy as well. So if you want to check it out and without any worries, you can return it. And the best thing is you can use my special link in the description below to get $50 off on your order. So let's go back to the video, check out part 1 and part 2 of what goes on in an RWB build done here in Japan. Alright, so we take the paint sample and head outside and have a look how it matches with the different panels of the car.
違うね。
違う？あ、ちょっと
明るい。
明るいね。Maybe a little bit extra white to dull it a little bit. I think you know, the sun has probably kind of played a bit around with the saturation, made the color fade a little bit. And like I was saying before, Nojima-san said that a lot of different panels have different shades of yellow. I can't tell the difference, but obviously he can. Yeah, you can even see how the fading is kind of happened differently across the bumper, which is plastic, and of course the fender and hood, which are metal. So Nojima said a little bit of white, a little bit of black. I don't know. See what he does. He's got the eye for it. I just sit back and enjoy the process. And actually Nakai-San is not here today. He's probably off in the States prepping other cars. And as you can see here, 2 monster wide body 997s, a turbo over here and a GT3 RS over here. Crazy how wide these things are. And I think it makes even more sense, more of an impact seeing them parked next to each other in such a tiny little shop for cars in here right now. All 997s. Kind of giving away what the majority of the work that Nakai-san does these days is. Alright, second sample. If the man himself says it's hard, I guess when it fades in interesting different ways. It's definitely gone lighter, but maybe not light enough. It's almost as if it's been desaturated. Wide body 997. I think this is one of the very first ones that was made. Alright, this is the 3rd attempt. A little bit less saturation. So obviously the biggest contrast will have to be with the fenders. So, you know, that's the first thing you see is when the fender flares are there. So looking at the front and back fenders, there's still a bit of a difference. Alright, I guess we have found a bit of a hard thing for Nojima to do, and that is matching this darn yellow, faded yellow. This will take so many tries. Apparently yellow is one of the very toughest colors. You can't mask it with metallics or flakes or anything. Alright, so Nojima-san is on his 5th, 6th attempt. He said he's almost there. He just did maybe a little bit of red. And again, it's proving to be difficult because every panel is a little bit difficult to kind of match, being painted at different times, obviously, during the actual painting process. So he's trying to match it as kind of an average and make it look especially well suited for you know, the plastics that will kind of make part of the kit up. So hopefully we get there soon. think we are there. This lower one is pretty much spot on. It's taken so long. It's crazy what process this is. It's really hard because when you have this part here, it kind of throws a bit of shadow into it because it kind of folds over on the corners. So we're trying to look at the car from every possible angle here, but it does look really good. Trying to do, you know, front and back, and then get some reflections to hit the paint, which is kind of hard, but there you see. You can kind of get the same gradient across all panels. And as Nojima-san was saying, it's literally done drop by drop into the main bucket of paint. So if he goes a little bit too far, there's no coming back. So he has to start all over again. So I think we're going to call it. I think it's been close to 15 tries to get it right, a little bit at a time, adding the, you know, the whites and the green. I think he added as well, just to get it perfect. And we've done it. Well, at least Nojima-san has done it. I was just, you know, enjoying the process. Right, so color matching complete. We have achieved a close enough match to the very faded 15-year-old yellow. I was actually asking the previous owner, who's a friend of mine, when he actually got the car painted, because this was originally dark blue and he wanted to have that kind of Porsche speed yellow. So he had it professionally repainted by a very famous paint shop in Nagoya. And that was 15 years ago, so you can imagine the type of fading that happens, especially when the car was kind of semi-dumped outside for so many years. But Nojima-san and his eye allowed him to get very close and kind of an average level of yellow to match most of the panels, and I'm very happy with it. It looks perfect to me. So next step is to figure out what the next process of the build is going to be. I have to wait until Nakai comes back from wherever he is now and sit down with him and discuss the next step.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Alright, fast forward a few weeks. This is Rauwelt build part 3. I'm at Nakai-san's place. Nakai-san is not here. I'm meeting Nojima-san, the painter, who's going to start painting the over fenders today. So we can kind of see what I went for and how the process is begun. So this is part 3, part 1 of 2 of painting. I'm back tomorrow for the bumpers, so we're gonna get going and checking that out. So let's ring the bell and wait for Nojima to open up. Domo sumimasen. Alright, so we are in Nakai's shop. Nojima-san has extended the paint booth here. So he's actually just prepped. I'm a bit late. I was coming from Yokohama today. I got the most intense traffic. It took me 3 hours to get here. So what I missed is basically the prep of the over fenders and the front bumper. So basically taking the FRP pieces, sanding them down, washing and cleaning them, and then applying 2 coats of white, like the primer. And then what we will be seeing is Nojima-san painting the first few coats of yellow. There's going to be 4 coats of color that gets, you know, sanded down again, washed, dried, and then finished up with 2 coats of clear. So we're going to be trying to cover pretty much as much of the process as possible. And I'm grinning because I'm actually standing in front of the rear spoiler that I mean, it was pretty much the first part that I decided that I wanted on this conversion, and that's the turbo wing. I just love the wideness, the flatness, and the extreme venting that goes on here, because God knows my car needs all the cooling it could get. So this, along with the rear bumper, which we have here, is what is going to get painted tomorrow. So I'm going to be coming back here 2 days in a row. So all the parts will be painted today and tomorrow. They're going to be put away, and once Nakai-san gets back from the US in about a good month, I'm going to come back here, meet with him, and we're going to figure out when the actual build day will happen. I'm hoping it's going to be sometime in December, so hopefully before the end of the year, so I can enjoy the car during the New Year meet, of course Tokyo Auto Salon, and the RWB meeting in January. So lots to look forward to. I'm so excited. I just honestly cannot believe this is actually happening. I've been here so many times, covering so many builds, and you know, even around the world with Nakai, you know, seeing all sorts of cars being built in, you know, various countries, right down to following him here creating, designing a 997 kit with the first car, and all the prototyping that went behind that. And then here we are, fast forward to 2024, and I'm sitting in front of my very own RWB bits and pieces. Alright, so a little few details. Like I said, Nojima-san has spent most part of today just prepping up these parts, so we get to see all the sanding that has happened to smooth and flatten the surface along all the venting here and along the edges to get it as smooth as possible. That's so sick. God, I love the spoiler so much. This is what Porsches are all about for me. Big flat turbo wing. And then on the rear bumper side, you can see how it is pretty much taken down, that initial coat that is applied during production on FRP goods. And as you can see, there's a little vent here on the side of the 964 bumper. I get the different looking number plate lighting, which I like way more than what's on the car right now. And of course a little hint of a diffuser start there, which of course is just cosmetic, but just adds to the whole look. And you can kind of gauge the wideness that we're going to go for. It's not going to be wide. I mean, it's not going to be super wide, but it's going to be wider. But within reason, just the first step that Nakai-San offers. Without further ado, I think we should go inside the paint booth and have a look at the other parts. Alright, so I've been told I can actually go inside and check out the first few bits that got painted. So here we are inside the RWB paint booth. And this is the front bumper. So damn cool. And the rear over fenders. And that first coat of primer, and then the fronts. You can kind of get an idea that I kept it within the norm of widening. It's not going to be too exaggerated. It's just going to be enough to have the wide body look but not go crazy wild, because I do want to use this car as much as possible. Oh my god, I'm literally shaking. This is so exciting. And that bumper, so sick. And of course we need the actual rubber strip there to finalize things. How cool is that? Completely missed this. These of course are the air vents that have been painted alongside the rest of the bits. These actually replace the front fog lights, which sit right here. And they're not really fog lights, they don't really add much light to the whole driving experience. They're more kind of like almost like a daytime running light, at least that's what I use them for, or just a position light when it gets kind of to dusk. So they don't actually do anything, so I'm quite happy to get rid of them and proceed and get some more venting. It's just so amazing to actually be right here in the RWB paint booth with my wide body conversion in the making. So cool. Alright, so I've taken all the pictures and little details of each piece, so I'm gonna get out of here and allow Nojima to continue on with the work. So I guess we'll come back here once the next layer is applied. So one cool thing is that with all the coverage I've done with RWB builds, especially here in Japan, I never actually got to see Nojima-san pull out the paint booth and get busy with the spray gun. So it's even more special that I'm actually witnessing how a true legit Japan RWB car is built, starting off with the painting process. We saw how Nojima spent hours color matching to the faded yellow that is on the car, and now I get to see the true process as it's always been done here in Japan since the very beginning of RWB. Too cool, so cool. Alright, so I just filmed Nojima-san mixing down the first batch of the yellow. So we did about an 80-20 mix with the paint and then the chemical that kind of dilutes it so you can spray it through the gun efficiently. And I'm not going to go inside because I've done that before and I always end up coughing for like 3 days, which is not good. So I'm just going to peek the camera through this little zipper here and get Nojima in action for about 10 seconds, and we'll leave him to it and we'll come back once he has finished. Doing the other rear fender and then now onto the bumper. It's so cool. I thought it would go on thinner, but it just literally just matches the car instantly as soon as the color touches the white base coat. Oh my, it's so cool. So while Nojima paints away, I think he's doing the second pass of the yellow, I just thought I'd show you guys what Nakai's layer looks like when he's not here. He's been gone for a month and I think he comes back in close to another month. So it's, you look it up on Google, it actually says temporarily closed, which I'm sure will freak out a lot of people that come to Japan and want to visit RWB. But that's when he's away for extended period of time. So guys, if you do want to visit RWB, make sure that Nakai is in the country. In the meantime, just look at this selection of 997s. We got the turbo in red, the GT3 RS in orange. We have a base Carrera in this kind of like military green. Another wide beast. Alright, well, sentimental me had to come outside and have a look at the Porsche. While Nojima does this thing inside, I'm kind of visualizing what the car will look like. And I couldn't help but come out here and check out the 964. And I parked it up with a little spoiler kind of propped up there. There's a switch inside that allows you to, lift it up. Either that or you allow it to do it automatically. I think over 80 it comes up. Yeah, we're gonna end up with a spoiler that is probably 2.5 times this, probably up until here and extending all the way out from the engine cover. Can't believe these are the last few weeks, probably like a little bit over a month I have left for the narrow body 964. And of course there are little details that I still need to figure out. I'm looking at figuring out the wheels. Nakai-San kindly will actually lend me one set of his works just so we can kind of nail fitment and ride height and just get it like sitting and functioning okay. So yeah, just make it functional for what I want to do with the car. Like I said, I want to keep using it as much as I can. And now that it's gotten a little bit cooler, I am pretty much driving the car every single day. It does awesome around town. It's narrow for the time being. It fits everywhere, easy to park, easy to drive in traffic, and it loves the highway. So I want to keep doing that. So we're going to make sure that, the fitment's just right for all use and purpose that I want to, get from the car. So once that will be decided and, I'm going to make my mind up, I'm going to hit up work and we're going to get some custom offset wheels made. Not sure which model yet. Has to be work. The whole Japanese wheel on a German car that has always been one of the many things that attracted me, RWB initially. So definitely work. I'll have to figure out what color looks best against the yellow. I do like darker wheels, bronze wheels. But then again, they kind of disappear once the sun goes down. You can't really see them anymore. So maybe a mix, like dark barrel, lighter centers, or vice versa. I don't know. many things to figure out. And then, of course, exhaust. It's probably going to be quite sad initially because I don't think I'm going to have an exhaust lined up or ready for when the car is actually being built. I did tell Nakai-San I do want the twin exit bumpers, well, bumper at the back. So I'm kind of figuring out what direction to take with the whole exhaust setup. Again, like the rest of the car, it has to be functional. It has to be loud enough, but not crazy that, you know, neighbors are going to start giving me the side eye, which I already get plenty of thanks to the GTR. And even the BMW on a cold start is quite loud. So maybe something with valves, something that you can kind of flick a switch and it quietens down. That would be perfect for Japan. Because, you know, I'm trying to get cars that, you know, do attract a bit of attention, but at the same time are legal. So if I do get stopped, I will have all the paperwork, all the necessary things that I can prove the car is completely legal. So I'm tired of running around with cars that are just, you know, borderline passing legal things, and, you know, just it kind of ruins your day when you get stopped by the police and you get told you have to change stuff. So I'm going to try to avoid that in my older years. I want to kind of take a more mature approach to that. So I apologize for the little ramble on here, but I just wanted to come outside, have a little look at the car, have a bit of a think, and check out this window. I always love this window with all the Stellas lined up from the inside when only the RWB LED logo is lit up. It kind of lights up the entire window. It's so cool. Actually looks better from far away. Alright, let's go inside. Okay, so let me get under the FRP bits there. I've been given the okay from Nojima-san to go inside. So I'm gonna unzip this and take a look. Oh my god. Holy crap. That is just sick. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's so perfectly color matched. I can't believe it. It's so nailed. The other rear over fender, right down to the RS vents. Wow. Can you tell I'm happy? What is this? What? 7 years in the making, plus easily 21, 22 years of thinking about it, wanting it. Alright, so it's been a couple of hours here at RWB and the paint is on. I'm actually going to leave now because, you know, I'm going to be coming back tomorrow to kind of see the rest of the kit being painted. So we'll get a bit more content of that happening tomorrow. And of course, we'll be able to see the parts that I sold today with a clear coat looking very shiny. And I'm just going to make the most of it. So I guess we'll just snap our fingers and it'll be tomorrow. Alright, so this is painting day 2 and I'm here with Gaia.
Hello.
Say hello, Gaia. Hopefully Nojima-san is already here. I'm gonna ring the bell again and get to filming today's painting procedure. Okay, so just stepped in and Nojima-san has already prepared everything in the paint booth to get painted today. So what we are looking at is actually the wing, which has been masked off from the inside, so that we get a nice paint through the whole grille section. And here we have the continuation of the side step, which starts with this piece here, or 2 pieces here. And then of course we have the rear bumper, which we were looking at yesterday. Like I did show you guys, it has that venting here on the side. It has this kind of like groove that goes along the bottom part and as well kind of like creating that centerpiece, much like on the stock 964 bumper. And again, the kind of design or like hint of a diffuser underneath. And here they are. Beautifully shiny with clear coat on it too. Right down here is the front bumper, looking very shiny. I'm almost scared to walk in front of it to not knock it over or anything like that. So Nakai-san is gonna land us a set of wheels and then we're gonna figure out what size tire we need, how it sits in the car, and get it looking right. Then we contact work and we get a custom set of meisters made, maybe. See how we go. Yeah. What color do you think we should get for the tires, for the wheels?
Silver.
Silver? You'll see. I was saying that too yesterday. Like, I do like darker wheels, but maybe a lighter contrast or something like this, you know, where the actual barrel is bright enough to have a contrast with the car and the centers. It's all lit up tonight, so we get the full RWB man cave experience. The white primer has been laid down, so we're gonna take a quick look at how it's all looking. So yeah, it was white before, but of course that was just the FRP base. Now it's looking very shiny and very ready to accept the yellow. And this is particularly the part that I'm very, very much in love with, that rear spoiler. I just love the profile of the whale tail turbo wing. The yellow coats have been applied. I just got the okay from Nojima-san to head in there and have a look at how it all looks. Everything is sort of dry. The guy is already here. Don't get too close. Oh yeah. Now it looks really, really... Oh, it makes so much sense now. That's so cool with the spoiler. To see it painted, it's just a whole different thing. I'm gonna end up here. Basically, Nojima will continue the night, basically doing a couple of more passes with clear coat, and that will be it. Basically, we have to wait for Nakai to come back from the US and figure out together when the best time to do this will be. See if the wheels that he was gonna lend me are already available. Think about tires and exhaust too. So lots to piece together, but some of the most important pieces have already been done. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know, that dream is getting closer and closer, and just to see these parts right here next to me is absolutely unbelievable. Make sure you check back soon for more, because this story has a few more parts coming. Hope you enjoyed it.